Patty was looking for work and spotted a job as a door-to-door Bible salesman. He suited up and headed into town. He walked into the boss's office and said, Patty, he here, to apply for the job. The boss raised an eyebrow and said, Look, with all due respect, Patty, I don't think this job is right for you. Patty replied, But you haven't given me a chance. That's just discriminatory. The boss shrugged and said, You know what? I'll give you a shot. Here's 50 Bibles. Let's see how you do. 4 hours later, Patty came back. Sold them all. The boss was shocked. That's incredible. Here's 100 more. The next day at lunchtime, sold them all, boss. The boss nearly fell off his chair. He said, Patty, take 200 more. Come to our staff meeting on Friday and share your pitch. We need more stock now, thanks to you. Friday came and the boss introduced Patty. Ladies and gentlemen, Patty has sold 350 Bibles in under 3 days. He's going to tell you his sales technique. Patty stepped up, smiled, and said, Well, I knock on the door. And when they answer, I just ask, do you want to buy a Bible? Or do you want me to read it to you? A kid is playing a video game in his room when his mom walks in and says, Honey, come meet my new boyfriend. Without taking his eyes off the screen, the kid says, I'm right in the middle of the game. Tell him to come in here. A minute later, the new boyfriend walks in and says, Hey, champ, how you doing? The kid ignores him. Don't like champ? How about I call you Blue Dragon 72? The kid bolts up, turns to the right, and says, Blue Dragon 72? I haven't used that name since I played Call of Duty when I was 10. The boyfriend says, That's right, dude. I told you I was going to bang your mom. At school, little Johnny was told by a classmate that most adults are hiding at least one dark secret, and that this makes it very easy to blackmail them by saying, I know the whole truth. Little Johnny decides to go home and try it out. He goes home and he's greeted by his mother. He says, I know the whole truth. Mother quickly hands him $20 and says, Just don't tell your father. Quite pleased. The boy waits for his father to get home from work and greets him with, I know the whole truth. The father promptly hands him $40 and says, Please don't say a word to your mother. The next day, a very pleased Johnny is on his way to school when he sees the mailman at his front door. The boy greets him by saying, I know the whole truth. The mailman immediately drops the mail, wipes a tear from his eyes, opens his arms, and says, Come give your real father a big hug. A man walks into a bar and orders a whiskey. The bartender hands him the drink and says, That'll be $5. The man replies, Who said anything about money? A lawyer sitting nearby says to the bartender, Pardon me, but he's right. In the original offer, which constitutes a binding contract, there was no stipulation of remuneration. The bartender says to the fellow, All right, smart guy, you beat me for a drink, but don't ever set foot in here again. The man leaves. But 10 minutes later, he comes strolling back in and asks for a whiskey. The bartender's face turns red. He shouts, I thought I told you never to come in here again. This is the first time here, says the man. You must be thinking of someone else. The bartender shakes his head and says, It's uncanny. You must have a double. Don't mind if I do, says the man. And one for my lawyer, too.